when I had to make a choice. You know that things just weren't right. I looked around for someone to blame. I searched and I searched and I reached down inside. And I knew when I found there's a light I could hide. I can be free, I can be free, I can rise above. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum coming to you live from KSCO Santa Cruz, and very happy to be here today. On my way in, I was listening to Tom Quinn's show, another excellent show. It's great information. And basically what I really wanted to do is talk about what you can do to get yourself free of disease or freer of it and improve the quality of your life. What I've seen coming to my office in the last couple of weeks is it's kind of interesting. I'm getting a lot of people in their early 60s, late 50s that are looking at where they're going for the next 30, 40 years in their life. And they're starting to become worried because their get up and goes got up and went, or they've got a hitch in their get along, or they're just fatigued, they've got pain, and they are not sure what to do. So, I wanted to try to shed some light on that, because if you're not willing to make a change, if you're not willing to do something positively about it, then, you're stuck on the ship going down the road with the rest of the nation. I was watching something this morning on TV, which I rarely do, and a commercial came on about a certain type of arthritis, one that affects your skin, it affects your joints, it affects organs in your body, and and even your digestive system. It affects your colon. That's basically a systemic inflammation in the body. And they were going on about how wonderful this biologic is. And if you've ever wondered what the term biologic means versus a medication, biologic has not had to go through a rigorous testing of safety testing. It's pushed through because of the emergency mode of it, or some loophole it's pushed through. At least that's my understanding on that. So, like the thing that they were talking about on the show prior to us is that thing that got pushed through to almost half the country. And, you got to wonder what is causing this to be the problem, that we can be covering up symptoms with medications, and those medications are actually doing more harm to us than the actual symptoms that they're covering up. So when you take a look at some of these arthritides or illnesses or chronic diseases, with the fibromyalgias, the chronic fatigue syndrome, even Lyme disease, and all these other arthritides, there are toxins in our body that are causing them. And they talked about this on the last show. I've been talking about getting rid of heavy metals, especially mercury and lead, for years on this show, and now in aluminum as well, just because that's passed down 4 generations through mom's umbilical blood, as well as that we know about 278 different chemicals that the environmental work group found in the umbilical cord of babies that haven't been outside the womb yet. So, and now you add everything that Tom Quinn's show was talking about, with all of the additives to the vaccines, and then whatever they're putting through the air and in the water we drink. It's so important to detoxify our body. The greatest physician who ever lived is your innate intelligence. It lives inside of you, and it knows what to do as long as it can see through the muck and mire of these toxins and correct them. So, basically we have three major stressors in our life. We have physical, chemical, and then mental, emotional. And the chemical is pretty heavy. We're living the most toxic time in the history of our world. Who knows what was going on when whatever got rid of the dinosaurs, but we have the human body is pretty interesting. I mean, it can survive a lot, but if you bury it too deep, it won't make it. If you get it too high in the air, it won't make it. If you give it too much oxygen, it will kill it. Not enough oxygen, it will kill it. Not enough food, too much water. All these things, there's a certain little area or window that we have to be confined in order to survive on this planet. And as those change, and our body's not able to adapt to them, aka detoxify for the most part, eventually it's going to catch up to us. When you have the rashes on your skin from the different type of arthritis out there, psoriasis, whatever other ones there can be, and then they treat the surface of your skin, that's like chopping off the weed with a weed whacker, but leaving the roots in there. You need to get to the underlying cause, and that's what they were talking about previously on the last show, was detoxifying. And it's so true that you need to do this. And there's a lot of supplements out there. I want to caution you to be careful on the way that you take them, though. I mean, there is a rhyme and reason that we do the detoxifying program the way we do. We have a program that starts at about 5 months. And the first part of it is to basically protect your brain. Because if you start trying to pull toxins and chemicals and heavy metals and molds out of your body without making sure the blood-brain barrier is healthy and making sure that your large intestine, kidney, liver, skin, and lungs can actually detoxify the stuff you're pulling out of hiding in your body, if you don't make sure those work first, you're going to make yourself sick and possibly even turn on bad genes. Those bad genes are disease genes, and what we're trying to do is help the body get as clean as possible so that it can handle anything that comes in environmentally, whether it's from the air, from the water we drink or bathe in, from the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the houses that we're in with the air conditioning systems, the cars that we drive, the chemicals, the formaldehydes, and all of the products that we buy in the stores. There's a tipping point that once your body gets to a certain point, it can't get rid of that stuff anymore. And that's when you become sick. And depending on how strong your genetics are, soon as you hit that tipping point, it could push you over to succumb quickly or long and miserably. The choice is do something different. I had a gentleman come in the office. He was referred in by his wife, who'd been coming for several years as a patient, and she talked about getting him in several times, and he never came into the office, and he finally came in last week. We did a consultation, exam, found out what his problem was, took x-rays of his body. He's in his early 70s, and his spine looked like it was a gnarled oak tree. I mean, there was areas where there was almost no disc between the bones. Gnarled way, he was leaning off to the left side so much, he was putting much more weight down on his left hip. And, you just see these people walking around at the different big box stores or, in the different grocery stores, or just going to and fro. And you look at them and they can barely move. They use a shopping cart to hold themselves up as they go, or they have canes or other walkers, or some people get in those electric carts at the store and drive rather than walk. Um, you know, I don't want to say I'm faulting them. I'm just saying that there is something that could be done to change that, because today is yesterday tomorrow. So we could actually make a change. And you can be free. You can do something different. You just got to take the right path, open up your eyes, and be willing to do something different. The body loves change. People hate change. Your body loves a change of seasons. It loves a change of food, seasonal foods. It's something called hormesis, where the body adapts well to change, and it strengthens and fortifies the nervous system. Look how they forge steel. They heat it up and hit it with a hammer, then put it in cold water, then heat it up and put it in cold and hit it again, and it becomes incredibly strong. Well, our body does well when we give it diversity. So at any rate, this gentleman who came in, we did something in an emergency procedure to try to help him with the pain that had come on relatively quickly for him. And then when we met the next day, I explained, we looked at his pictures, we talked about what was going on, what his spine looked like. I showed him a normal. We talked about the nervous system and how it controls every cell, organ, and tissue in the body. All 75 to 100 trillion cells are controlled by the nervous system. And he was on several medications. And, but at the end of the discussion, I asked him, are you interested in doing nothing and trying to patch up the pain, or do you want to get this thing healthy? He goes, well, I'm interested in getting healthy. I go, okay, well, let me show you what that looks like. I put together a reasonable program for him. And when I showed it to him, he goes, well, I don't really have that in my checking account. I mean, I have it in savings, but I'm not really willing to spend that money right now. I went, okay, that's fine. You're just not ready to do this, and totally fine. So he left, and as it was, we got a really great note from him saying, you guys did a good job. He just wasn't ready to start. And I don't know how long people can keep putting it off until, it's actually too late. I was asked a couple minutes ago by Tom Quinn when he left if I'd seen people injured by in the last couple of years because of the injections. And I said, yes, I've had patients that are no longer on the planet, family members that are various symptoms such as chronic instability, dizziness, numbness in the feet. It basically amplifies a lot of problems that they're already having. But, people make the choice they have to make. The thing is that the right choice now might be to detoxify. What can you do? And, it's such kind of a catchphrase, detoxification. Back in the 70s and 80s, 90s, 2010s, it all sounded, like granola, okay? But now it's serious, and if you don't do it, the likelihood of getting sick is pretty great. We're going to take my first break. We'll come back in just a few minutes to talk about what you can do to get yourself healthier. I can rise above. I can be free. I can be free. I will rise above. When you're all alone. Hey, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum, and I have this amazing patient, Lauren, here, and she had a few things to say.
Hi, I'm Lauren Spencer, a local realtor, and I've been seeing Duncan for years now. I had a biking accident, and he's been adjusting me since then, and it's been amazing. But lately, I've had trouble with my feet, and I'm an avid walker, avid biker, avid golfer, and my feet were aching all the time. And I tried Duncan's TRT machine, which is an amazing stem cell machine that rejuvenates the cells, and My feet, I've had like 3 or 4 sessions with the machine, and my feet are like new. No aches, no pains. It's a miracle. So I really highly recommend Duncan and his chiropractic services, but also that TRT machine. You got to try it. Thanks.
Wow, thanks, Lauren. That was awesome. So we still have the $49 special. Come on in and see if it works for you. Thank you. Hi, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum, and I have this amazing patient, Gayleen, here, who walked into our office, well, barely walked into our office, and she'd had a lot of attempts and tried to fix her health, and she's had some tremendous changes here. So I was wondering if you would like to just tell our audience about that.
Well, like Dr. McCollum said, I came into the office in December, hardly able to walk and bent over. And within 3 visits, I was standing up straight, walking. I couldn't believe it. That's never happened to me before. It's been a very rough road, but we're getting there, and I'm very grateful.
Yeah, and you had 2 back surgeries as well, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah, in 1995. 1995. Yeah.
And so they didn't really solve your problem.
No, they didn't.
And you came in, we did some stem cell treatments on you and some chiropractic on you, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you're happy.
I'm happy. Everyone here is just awesome. They're all here to help you. They're all so sweet. And I'm glad I came here.
Thank you so much, Gayleen. And I just really appreciate you being here as well. You're such a pleasure when you come in.
Thanks.
So you should listen to Gayleen, see if we can help your health.
That's right. Anyone that needs help, please come in.
Thank you. When you're all alone and there's nowhere left to go, the truth is right in front of you. You will see. It will make the best. Hey everybody, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum. I'm back, and really appreciate Gayleen and Lauren for their testimonials. They're both amazing patients, been coming in on a maintenance program for a long time. And also Steve Thunderbird's song, You Can Be Free, sung by Tony Lindsay, and 8-time Grammy Award winner. Just always appreciate that song, because you can be free, and it's time to make a change. And when you just don't think there's anybody around to help you, then it's time for you to open your eyes, because they're out there, we're out there. My office is there to help those who want to be helped. You know, my office is definitely not for everybody. We don't accept all patients. And if we know we can't help you, I'll tell you that. Some people just aren't ready to make the change. When it's time to make the change, as Tony Lindsay said, then give us a call. Or maybe you just wonder, and we can talk to you and let you know what your options are. When we talk about the detox, my office is basically a chiropractic office. We see lots of patients there. I have 2 other doctors there now, which is awesome, helping us help more people. And we have the stem cell, the TRT, tissue regenerative technology machine going almost full time. It's making huge changes in people's body on a microscopic level. It works at a cellular level. It helps damaged cells break down quicker, so that your body can bring in new stem cells and make new, healthier cells and regenerate the different parts of the body. We're basically turning back the biological clock with that. Then chiropractic works on a macro basis. We work on the big joints, the larger nerves, freeing them up. So as they go to a colony of cells that have become an organ, some kind of tissue, muscles, ligaments, bones, that they can heal better. But and then the mental part is really important. You know, I'm saying, I always bring up Robert Frost's poem, you know, where he says 2 paths diverged in the wood, and I took the path less traveled by, and it made all the difference. So only 8% of the people in the United States go to chiropractors. They are taking the path less traveled by. And I would venture to say they're healthier than the other 92% of the planet because they're rated 47th in the world for health. There's 46 countries healthier than us. So that path you're taking is not conducive to health. The TV commercials that this one on this arthritic thing today said, all of these different things help cover up your symptoms. That's what all it said is it covers up your symptoms. Listen to it when you see it. It doesn't say it fixes anything. And drugs typically aren't designed to fix anything. That's why the United States, takes 70% of all the prescription drugs made in the world, and we're only 4% of the world population. I mean, when I say these statistics, it's staggering because it goes in one ear and out the other. We're only 4% of the world population, the United States. There's 96% of the people on this planet don't live in the United States. So 4% do. We take 70% of all the drugs made in the world, and we're still rated 47th in the world in health. We're number one in obesity. So, if it is time for you to make a change, it starts with you. And, again, I mentioned that I'm a chiropractor first and foremost. I'm very highly trained in detoxification, nutrition with Dr. Dan Pompa. I'm one of the platinum doctors for the Health Centers of the Future. There's about 40 of us. We meet weekly. We travel to different parts of the world to study things. We've, we usually try everything on ourselves to make sure that we have it ironed out. So when we tell you about it, we make sure it's going to give you the best benefits. I've do a lot of detoxification. Recently, I've realized because I am so busy that I've taken on one of Dr. Pompa's platinum doctors with me to help me. And so, and then any of our patients that we take on in the nutritional detoxification program, we all, as a group we meet weekly, the platinums, and oftentimes we'll bring on a difficult case. So if we can't solve it, then we know that there's some of the best minds in the world are there to help with it. So, but most of us just need to detox. It's look, if you just are relatively healthy and you just went through a 5-month detox program that we can do, and I can help you with that simpler one at my office, then you're going to get the heavy metals out of your body. Significant amount of them. We'll never get them all, obviously, but you want to get enough that the molds and what happens with the heavy metals, and a lot of them come from mercury, from if you're 4 generations through mom's umbilical blood, let alone everybody's teeth who had mercury in it. It's only 2 inches from the brain, your mouth, and all of those toxins that you get there. And then what happens with the lead and the mercury and the aluminum and the cesium and the titanium and all these other heavy metals that we're exposed to, they get hidden or stored in inert parts of our body, but they open the door and they make a very comfortable bed for bacteria, viruses, and parasites and other toxins to come hang out in. So it's a right atmosphere. It's like if you were to go into a dingy bar that's filled with smoke and all the windows have coverings on them so you can't see outside, and there's spilled alcohol on the carpet that never got cleaned up. That's like these pockets of heavy metal, dingy, dark spots in your body that the heavy metals, molds, and hidden infections hang out in. And when a friend of mine, and anybody that has their cavitations taken out of the infected parts of their jaw or wisdom teeth pulled out, root canals, always ask for them to culture what they pull out, and you will be blown away at what amount of different types of deadly bacteria are living in there. And oftentimes many of them are way over the healthy amount. There's they say a arbitrary number of 9 is healthy. Well, one of my friends had, I think, 8 or 9 into the 16 and 17, hidden in her jaw, causing chronic issues with her health. And we have these, and you're just waiting for the next foot to drop. Oftentimes, like even another new patient I had last week was, we looked at his x-rays. He'd never had x-rays of his back before, or his spine. And he goes, well, you're showing me that, but I don't have any pain. I have no pain in my back. Why should I do anything about it? I go, well, look at the bones. They're almost bone on bone. The discs are gone. You have digestive issues. You've had, part of your colon removed a while ago. And that same nerve that goes to that part of your low back controls the large intestine, bladder, reproductive organ, as well as the nerves that go down your legs, which of course can be causing pain, weakness, sciatica, balance problems, paresthesias, and all of that. Even though that's in your foot, it's coming from the back. And there was a gentleman named Jim Fix many years ago who was considered the healthiest man in the world. He was on the front of Time magazine, I believe, or Health magazine, or whatever it was. And then about a week after the article came out, he dropped dead of a heart attack. Well, wait a minute, wasn't he just deemed the healthiest man in the world or person in the world? And then a week later, he died of a heart attack? What gives? Well, what happened is he just had no symptoms. And things like heart attacks, usually, they may leave clues, but 50% of the time, the first sign of the heart problem in this state, in this county, 50% of the time, the first incident of knowing you have a heart problem is death. You die. It's a heart attack that kills you. So if you're walking around looking like a time bomb, you probably are. So there's a lot of things that you can do about it. I'd love to help you if you're willing to be helped. First and foremost, we want to look at the nervous system, because that is what controls every cell and organ in your body. It controls your endocrine system, which is all your hormones. It gives signals to the master hormone gland in your brain, the hypothalamus and pituitary glands, which then secrete hormones throughout your body to go to the cells and organs and tell them what to do or not do. If that's haywire, your body's not going to be well. You're going to get sick. Your colon is not going to be able to detoxify well. I didn't catch the doctor's name that was with Tom Quinn earlier today, but she was talking about the microbiome, the bugs in our gut, the 100 trillion bugs that live inside our large intestine, which is usually more than we have human cells altogether. And she said that those microbiome are affected by heavy metals. They are. Heavy metals, glyphosate, molds, the foods you eat, the fluorinated water, the chemicals that you're taking, the drugs and alcohol that you're taking. And so it's kind of like you have this vacuum cleaner that has a filter in it, and you never change the filter, and you keep trying to vacuum stuff off the rug. Well, pretty soon the vacuum's going to get overheated and blow up. Well, that's what happens to your body when it gets too toxic. The liver loses its ability to detoxify your blood fast enough, and it becomes sicker and sicker and sicker. And then one day it's unable to do its job, and you get very sick. So that didn't happen in a minute. It didn't happen overnight. It happened over many, many decades of incidents in your life that your body didn't fully recover from. And it might be that you were very sick as a child and you were on many antibiotics. And then you got off your antibiotics, but you never really felt great from that point forward. You're always kind of sickly. You catch every cold that ever comes around, and you still take antibiotics and when that comes, or you try not to. But the point is that your body there's how far up is up, it's way up. How far down is down? Well, you can be dead wrong, or you can, by not taking care of what you need to take care of to keep your body healthy right now. So in my office, I specialize in spinal correction. We don't really work with pain relief necessarily. That's what we do. But my daughter, who works for me, said something very interesting the other day. She said after one of our patients didn't understand why we wanted them to be on corrective chiropractic care. She said, the chiropractor that I've gone to before, and she recently moved to town, said, okay, your spine's fine, come back when you need me. And so the lady said I would go back when I was in pain, or something made me decide to go back. And now I'm looking at my x-rays and my low back is degenerated. And you said that's been going on, a process that's been going on for about 40 years. And I go, yeah. She goes, anyway, so she wondered why she wasn't told this before. Different people operate different ways, but my daughter came up with this interesting comment. And she goes, some chiropractors and obviously medical doctors and people in the healthcare system make money off of people being in pain or sick. Come back when you're in pain or when you're sick. And not a bad way to make a living, because the United States takes 80% of all of the opioid drugs in the world. We take 80% of all the opioids. That's legally sold opioids, let alone what's coming over the border. So pain is a big deal. So she says, what we do here at McCollum Family Chiropractic, we make money off of keeping people well. We would rather you be well and be optimized and have your nervous system work as close to 100% as possible. So when you do go out, be a weekend warrior, or you do have a slip or fall or an accident or get exposed to something terrible out there in the environment, your body's able and capable of fighting it off, or much more than the other guy. So I thought that was interesting, that some people make money off of getting people out of pain. Other people make money off of keeping people healthy. And I choose the latter. It's much better to have people come in and healthy. And the two doctors that I have working for me now, or with me, have seen that. When people come in and they're happy, we check them once a week or whatever we do. They come in, we check a couple bones in their spine, make sure they're healthy, that they're not degenerating faster than the rest of their spine. They get up and they laugh, they have a great time, they love our staff, and they walk out. And then occasionally some of the patients that come in that, only come in when they're in pain, they come in and they're in pain and they want me to adjust them, and they're really surprised when they don't get out of pain with one adjustment. And maybe I'm just not that good. I go, I know doctors that are probably better at getting you out of pain in one adjustment if that's what you want. I have a list in my office. You can ask for it. But that, to me, is so much harder, because one, it may not happen. We may not be able to get them out of pain that quickly. Now they've lost that time and that energy and perhaps a few days of work, because they are unable to function the way they want to. They're miserable, and it's a lot harder to adjust them. And it's so much funner for people just who want to be healthy and stay healthy. That's fun. It's really neat to have a practice like that. But I understand it's a gradient. You need to come in. And myself, when I was carried into a chiropractor at 20 years old, I was carried in. I hadn't walked in 3 weeks. What we'll do is I'm going to take my second break, and then I will come back and tell you that story and bid you adieu for a week. You search and you reach down inside, and you'll know when you find there's a light you can't hide. You can be free. You can be free. You can rise above. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum, and I would like you to listen to a couple testimonials from my patients about our new TRT machine. You should come try it, but here's what they have to say.
A year and 2 months ago, I got knocked down by a horse and I got a grade 2 pull on my hamstring, and from there everything went to hell. I was walking 3.5 miles a day. I went from that to walking less and less because it was so painful, and my other knee started hurting me. And then I stepped off a ladder and jammed my knee. It took me the next morning 5 minutes by the time I stood up to get out of my bedroom. It was so painful. At the same time, I found out about the TRT from the doc, and I knew that that was for me. So almost feeling completely normal. So it's been great. I was walking stiff kneed on one side because it was just flopping out of place. Now I can bend my knee and walk. I totally recommend this one time, and you'll just go, whoa.
You don't realize how much you use your toes for balance until there's no feeling in them. And so I've got the feeling back in my toes, and my balance is greatly improved. Definitely recommend it.
So call today for your $49 introductory special on the TRT machine to see if it works for you. Call 831-459-9990. 831-459-9990. McCollum Family Chiropractic. Hi, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum. You've heard me talk about the True Cellular Detox program, the 3 phases of helping your body get the toxins out of it so that it can function correctly. We'll be starting a new program on June 1st, and if you would like to be part of that, give us a call, 831-459-9990. This is your chance to clean your body up, boost your immune system, decrease brain fog, and get your digestive system functioning the way you want it to. 831-459-9990.
Whenever you're lonely and no one's around, just try to remember the strength that we found. Oh, yeah. We can be free. We can be free. We can rise above. Okay, Dr. Duncan McCollum back for my last segment, and appreciate you all being here. This is McCollum Wellness Radio. You can find me on McCollum Wellness Radio podcasts. If you want to catch up on some of my old shows, I think we got about 100 up there now. You can find me at Dr. Duncan McCollum on YouTube, where all these are video recorded and you can watch them there. You can follow me on Duncan McCollum Facebook, and we'd love for you to come visit us at McCollum Family Chiropractic in Capitola. Check out the $49 special on the stem cell machine. Find out if it can change your life the way it did Gary and Noel. Gary was knocked over by a horse and hurt his knee, and he's an amazing guy. He comes in on a maintenance program now, just periodically to get the stem cells regenerating in that area. And Noel as well, he had that. He did that spot about 3 years ago before the big lockdown, and he had diabetic neuropathy in his feet. He couldn't walk without shoes on because it was so painful. It was like walking on broken glass, he said. And he recently reappeared with some back issues that he wanted to get the stem cell machine done on. And I asked him about his feet, and he goes, no, it's perfect. They haven't come back. They're still 100%. And that's a huge change. This machine, there's not many of them in the world. When I bought mine, there were only 200 in the country. And now there are about 600, but very few local. And it's what's called a lithotripsy machine. And litho means stone, and tripsy means breakage. It's what they use to break up kidney stones. It's a sound machine. The sound comes through at 3,358 miles an hour. And they would use it very focally to break up a kidney stone. They broadened the beam, and now we know that it does an amazing job of helping the body recover where it didn't heal right from an old injury. So you should try it. $49 special. Find out if it helps you. Since there aren't any around anywhere, you might as well come try ours, because if it does help, it could change your life dramatically. And that's one reason we're doing the $49 special, because we want you to try it. And then if it doesn't work, that's the way it is. But at least you'll also have a chance to take a look at the other issues of your health, because we'll do a complete consultation on you, find out if there's other aspects that we might be able to help for you.
chiropractically, your nervous system. Find out if you've been exposed to so many toxins that your body's, a walking toxic waste site that is just causing disease in your body, which will eventually, it's going to cause a bad gene to turn on, and that thing's going to be the end of you. You know, the average person, when they retire, now at 67 to 70, they live for about 18 months. So we have been told, work hard, get an education, go to school, work hard, get an education, put your money away for the future, and then when you retire, enjoy it. Well, right now, retiring and living for 18 months after that is the average. Sure doesn't sound very good. And one thing we were never taught is our health legacy. Do something to improve your health. You have that chance now. You could start today. You could start today by looking at the foods in your refrigerator and getting rid of the things that aren't organic. Get processed foods, just stop eating them. They're toxic. They've got glyphosate in them for sure, if they're grains in the United States. That's Roundup, by the way. And our soil is so depleted of vitamins and minerals. There are 90 different sites on the planet that they have soils that are at least 5 feet of topsoil. That some of these special farms that I'll be talking about soon, where we can get products that actually are grown from the soil itself. They're not having to put in all these, even the organic farms have chemical fertilizers they have to put in to replace all of the nutrients that have been taken out of it for years. So at any rate, we can take a look at, it's a real easy way to get into our office, $49, come in, talk to the doctor, have a consultation, meet my incredible staff. As long as it's appropriate, we'll do the stem cell treatment on you. And then we will talk about the results in another visit that's also included in the $49. During that time, you're welcome to ask me about any of your health conditions, and I will be able to discuss whether I can help you or if I should refer you to somebody else. And I am using a colleague to help with the load because we're so busy. When you call, it's usually you can't get in right away. So call and get on the waiting list. 831-459-9990, 459-9990. 4 plus 5 equals 9. Then there's a bunch of 9s ending up with a 0. 459-9990, 831. And just say you heard it on the radio, you want to come in and check out the stem cell machine and what we can do for you. So I was, before the break, talking about my experience of being carried into a chiropractic office after being flat on my back for 3 weeks. And I was in so much pain. I was in college, and of course my friends brought me every kind of drug in the world that they came up with, and nothing helped. I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom. I needed assistance with that. And at 20, your friends aren't really like going, oh, this sounds like a fun thing to do. They finally threw me in the back of my own pickup on a couch they took out of my living room and hauled me off downtown to Dr. York's office. And Dr. York looked at me, had them hold me up to take an x-ray because I couldn't stand. My 2 friends, who I don't even know their names, I wish I remembered who they were. Probably because I was on so many drugs trying to kill the pain, I couldn't remember their names. And he took an x-ray of my back, and then he came back in and he looked at me and he said, when did you break your back? And I went, huh? He goes, when did you break your back? And I'd fallen out of a tree at 12 and been in lots of pain for years. Couldn't even play sports in high school because trying to do all the workouts hurt so much, and it went undetected. So anyway, that was startling to me. I started crying. Finally, somebody found out what was going on with me. And he got me out of pain. For several years, I would go in when I was in pain, and he would get me out of pain. I'd go away, do something stupid, come in, get adjusted, out of pain. Finally, one day, he goes, look, your spine, we took a new x-ray. He goes, this disc is wearing out. The spine's getting bad. You're a young man. and he knew my dad by that time, and that my family had all lived to be in their late 90s. And he goes, "You better take care of this. You're going to be crippled by the time you're 50. Well, I'm 67 now, so I listened to him. But my point is, it took me a long time to realize that I was much better off staying healthy than waiting till I was suffering in pain. How many fun times did I miss because I was in pain? Inopportune times, right before a vacation, the pain came on. Going out on a date with somebody, the pain came on. Wanting to go backpacking, couldn't, you know? So don't wait. It's not worth it. You're much better off finding somebody to help you now. And again, the $49 special is a great way to do that. We love helping people at our office. It's so fun to see people come in. It's not fun seeing them hobble in, but it's really fun seeing them walk out and tell me in the private room how much they love my staff and how good they make the patient feel when they walk in the office every time. Our goal is to make every visit like your first visit, minus the fear of going to a doctor, but a very pleasurable experience. We oftentimes, it's hard to get in to see us. Oftentimes we have cancellations, so you can always call and find out and say, "I'd like to get in." But the one thing that I can tell you is a lot of times people say they thank me and say, "I'm really good," or "a good chiropractor." And I go, "It's not me, it's your body's ability to heal. I'm not healing you. Your body is. All I'm doing is removing the interference, whether it's chemical or physical, whether it's old injuries that the stem cell machine now can reverse. And then oftentimes by just realizing that what you think about, you talk about, what you talk about, you bring about, you start to change your mind. You start to feel better rather than always waking up forlorn and tired. So as you start to feel better, your body also will heal quicker. So we work on all three avenues, really. We work chiropractically through the nervous system, the stem cell machine at a microscopic level. Nutritionally, we help you detoxify. I've written 2 health books. One's called Turn Back Your Biological Clock. You can get that on Amazon. And the other one is called New Hope for Sciatica. It talks about how to reduce inflammation in your body so you can enjoy your life. So those 2 books are available. You can get them and read them and get some tips out of them. And I would love it if you would get them, because I have people calling. One of my staff members said that she got a call from somebody from, I don't know, on the East Coast, who'd gotten read my book, Turn Back Your Biological Clock, and wanted to know how we could help them. And I guess they wanted the stem cell machine, was part of their interest. Well, we do have a network of people around the country that I can find out where you might find one, and then we'll let you know. And also, because of the network of doctors, especially the health centers of the future doctors, the platinum group that we have all over the country, we can also help you there. And many of them and I work remotely because we're assessing toxicity. We don't have to put our hands on you like we do with chiropractic. But we would love to have you come in. So I'm seeing a few people on Facebook. I appreciate you watching. This is KSCO. You can listen every Saturday, ksco.com, 1 to 2 o'clock. You can go to McCollum Wellness Radio podcasts and re-listen to the shows there. And I've really enjoyed being here and answering questions for people. I don't, oftentimes people ask if they could make, you're welcome to make comments on Facebook. You can always email info@McCollumFamilyChiropractic.com and ask questions you want me to address and discuss on the air, and I will do that. I don't really take calls on the air because it gets distracted and off topic. So I save everybody from that. But I think that one thing to realize is, your future is in your hands, and you can make a change today. You can decide You know, it's really interesting when I taught the fasting, and by the way, a commercial came on saying I'm doing the detox in June. That was a mistake for that commercial to come on, but that detox is available to you. It is something you can do by yourself. You can call info at McCollum Family, email info at McCollum Family Chiropractic and find out about that. If you are too sick, I would refer you then after a consultation to Tammy. She's in Texas, call her Texas Tammy, but she has worked with Dr. Pompa longer than any other of the healthcare of health centers of the future docs. And so we've agreed that she's got more availability to take on the real tough patients than I do. So, and I feel very confident referring you to her should you need that. But the simpler detoxes that we know we all need to do every year. If you haven't changed the oil filter in your car and you got 100,000 miles on it, probably a good idea to change it. The air filter, all of those things, the filters in your house, and clean out your own filters, your lungs, your kidneys, your liver. Toxins are stored in your fat cells, your brain's made of fat, and they unleash themselves at times of the worst time. When you're under multiple stress, your fat will burn and they'll dump toxins in your body that make you sick. That's why people get the keto flu when they do a ketogenic diet or some kind of weight loss diet. They're burning their fat, they're dumping toxins in the fat in the bloodstream. It's now water soluble and it will make you sick. You don't have to just do a ketogenic diet to make that happen. But that's what I was talking about the previous show, is your body's a very precious thing for you. Don't wing it when it comes to detoxing. You can do a lot of damage. There's so many heavy metals in our bodies, especially the lead and mercury. Lead, one of the main things symptoms it is known for at high dose in your body is depression. Mercury, high dose, is anxiety. Think about how many people are being treated for depression and anxiety. A few weeks ago, an article came out about the SSRIs and how they were ineffective for depression. They knew it was, but they ran with it and sold it for almost 20 years to millions of people, knowing that it really didn't do what it said it was going to do, and how much harm that has caused. Look at the side effects on some of that stuff. So, you know, really, if you're looking for something to cover up your symptoms, a medication or something, maybe you need that in the emergency. And I'm not a doctor's I don't prescribe medications, so don't quit because of me. But let's get informed. Give us a call. We're coming up to the end of the hour. We're going to go out with You Can Be Free, and you surely can. And I look forward to meeting you. Bye-bye. We will rise above. We will rise above.